And we're live on the Geek Boutique podcast. Hi, guys. Don't adjust your screens or your sets. JS, unfortunately, is not here with us this week on the Geek Boutique podcast, but I have a couple guys coming in to pinch hit on his behalf. Joining us for the podcast, he says it's the fourth time. It feels like the 14th time. We have this guy on all the time because he's just solid. And he's also really rocking today's theme, which we'll get to here in a second. Snowhawk cosplayer, our friend Ed. Hello, sir. He ain't heavy. He's my brother. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
I'm hanging in, I guess. Longtime watcher and commenter and angry middle finger giver, Corey Carter is also joining us on the podcast today. Corey, how you doing?
Great. How are you guys?
So good. So yes, the theme this week, we are talking mustaches. If you're watching on the live stream, either through YouTube or through Facebook, you can see that we have a screen up that's talking about the top 10 mustaches of all time. So we must ask you a question. What are your favorite mustaches, your favorite dick brooms, your favorite soup strainers, whatever you want to call them? What are your favorites of all time? First off, though, if you'll notice, we've all got a little bit of facial hair going, especially in the mustache department. We have this because even though today is December 1st, we are marking the end here of Movember. Some of you may be familiar with it, especially if you're big on social media. This time every year, I believe initially it was No Shave November, and now it has morphed into Movember. But there's probably a bunch of you watching that don't know what this is. So Corey has some experience in this field. I'm going to let him take the stage here. Corey, if you could let us know. In fact, I'm going to shrink down this for now. If you could let us know what Movember is, what it means, how we got here in the first place, and in particular, what it means to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the time, by the way, and hello to everybody that's watching. So Movember has been around since 2003. So it's been a long-standing charity. It actually, I believe, started in Australia. But really what Movember is all about is it's changing the face of men's health, quite literally. That's why you see us rocking our mustaches on a yearly basis. It's because Movember is all about changing the face of men's health. Traditionally, it started as a men's cancer charity, so that would be testicular as well as prostate. And then as time has gone on, we've really seen sort of a shift in this cultural side effect of men's mental health. It's something that at least for my sake, like when I was growing up, it's like you didn't talk about your feelings. You kind of kept them bottled, like didn't really talk about your emotions. You didn't want to seem weak, that kind of thing. And we're seeing a profound effect on what that kind of mentality has done. Men's suicides rates are the highest among pretty much any suicide rate that we're seeing worldwide. I believe it's 1 in 4 right now. Men will potentially die of suicide. I'm getting my stats from Movember.com. I apologize if I might be a little remiss on some of the stats there, but it's a huge problem. It's a huge shift that we really need to sort of take upon ourselves as men, is to not be shy away from conversations and take agency over our mental health. I think that, like I said, as I was growing up, it's like I still grew up in a nice like household, but that was sort of the mentality. And now what I'm seeing is like the benefits of actually taking care of my mental health, doing things that are really beneficial, and sort of the ramifications of that, of how many lives you could potentially save by taking agency of your mental health, having tough conversations, and doing something like this, which is engaging in tough conversations and bringing them to the forefront. So again, I can't thank having a platform like this enough, because the more that we can have these conversations, the more awareness it brings to the charity itself, and really helps somebody who might be in need right now.
And that's what we wanted to do with this. We wanted to bring about awareness, but we didn't want it to be, we still have to couch it in some kind of a geek thing, because of course it's the Geek Boutique, hence why we're doing the top 10 mustaches, to keep it fun. But we do want to increase awareness on this. And you brought up an interesting stat. Yeah, 1 out of 4 men. But also when it comes to suicide rates among the genders, and by the way, we're not excluding our trans men friends or non-binary friends, but 4 out of 5 suicides are men. 80%, 49% of the population, but in Western society, 80% of suicides are men. So it is something that we need to start talking about more and more often. Ed, do you want to jump in on this as far as the mental health goes?
Well, I think when it comes down to mental health, especially with men, as Corey said, it's tough for guys to talk about it. And, you know, like, especially growing up as us, we're approaching our 50s.
Speak
Like,
for yourself.
oh,
Some of us
well,
are more. Some of us are more approaching
Yeah.
it, son. Some of us is right there.
okay, so as 80s kids, we never talked about this kind of stuff. Like, you suck it up, get back in the game, all that kind of stuff. And, so a lot of us are suffering from mental health issues that we don't talk about. You keep it to yourself. So, yeah, I think it is important to recognize that this is going on out there, and it's a huge, huge problem.
Well, I find that
we
men
need
are
to address.
defined about based on what they do, right? When you meet a guy for the first time, almost amongst the first three questions is, what do you do for a living? And societally wise, there's no reason for us to ask that, but we tend to judge men based on what they do for a living, and the fact that they're doing something for a living. Because typically those infrastructure jobs that keep the world sort of running and moving and building roads and building buildings and generating power and plumbing and sewage and garbage collection and everything else are typically done by men. And in a lot of cases, most men don't really have the option of doing nothing. And if they do nothing, they're judged pretty harshly about it. So I think it's important too. Yeah, kind of what you both are saying is we're not really in a position where we could just sit down and be like, I'm struggling right now and I don't know if I can do this. It's, I think Corey said it's like, or maybe it was that, get back in the game. Like, there's work to be done. That's you doing that work. That work needs to be done. So just suck it up and do it. And so all we're doing is just shoving these feelings down and not dealing with them. And then, and then 80% of suicide victims are men. That's where, or 70% of homeless people are men. Like we're there's clearly help is needed. Some men just can't reach out. And then sometimes it just doesn't seem like societally there's enough reaching out being done to men to be like, it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay to be struggling. It's okay to not be okay. Let's see what help we can do. So, or what help we can have. But I don't want to get off on too big of a bummer tangent. I wanted to make sure that we talked about why we were doing this before we got into the list. So it's really important that we get this focus clear. Not just, by the way, get a prostate exam and check your testes. These are very, very important, as Corey can attest. These are very, very important things to do. But we also have to talk about the mental health aspect of it as well. So
Absolutely. No, it's a great thing to bring up and have more conversations about. And I do like what you kind of mentioned there is that we're a lot of the times measured on like what we do. And that's why things like this are important, because us doing Movember, that's another measure of what we can do. So yeah.
Yep, for sure. Corey, do you want to take just a half a second and just talk about your personal experience with this? Are you comfortable doing that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have no problem talking about it at this point.
Just why you're so attached to this movement, how it's affected you.
Yeah. So I've been doing Movember now for about 15 years. So I have almost been there since day one, not quite, but I've almost been there since day one. Initially, my father was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So I walked through that entire journey with him, seeing him go through surgery as well as radiation treatment and seeing sort of that toll that it took on him. But then also taking that next step of understanding my family's history led me to 7 years after my father was declared cancer-free, I myself was impacted by cancer. So I was diagnosed with stage 1 testicular cancer. So I had surgery to remove it. I thankfully did not require any radiation or chemotherapy. I have been free since. Actually, weird timing. Tomorrow is actually my 10-year anniversary. So I've been 5 years fully cancer-free, but 10 years since my diagnosis tomorrow. So I am so thankful to be here still, and to have charities like Movember that I can put myself into, because people like me are impacted every single day. Someone that I worked with, I saw on LinkedIn posted that they were just diagnosed with testicular cancer. That's why it's so important, the work that we're doing, the charity that goes into this, because all the money is helping to ideally, and thank you in the chat for those that are saying congrats, I really appreciate it. That's why these conversations are, although difficult, so important to have, because giving that visibility of here's what I went through, it makes other people less afraid to talk about what they're going through, or what they're feeling and that kind of thing. You were bang on about like take agency over your own health, go get exams, go get checked, that kind of thing. You are the biggest person that understands you. Your friends can help you kind of point in the right direction and that kind of thing, but you know your body. If you feel that something is weird or amiss or awry, don't wait. That's how people die, is if they wait or they shrug it off, that kind of thing. You know you. So make sure that if you feel off, look into it. Be proactive, not reactive.
Ed, anything you want to jump in there and add, sir, before we get on to the list?
Well, I also just sort of to kind of follow up with what Corey just said, the same thing about like just shake it off, get back in the game. Also, if you're not feeling well, don't just work through the pain or be like, yeah, no, I'll suck it up. I'll get better later. Like I remember when I was 30 years old, I went into the doctor and I just said, I want to have full exam. He says, is there anything wrong? I said, no, just I'm looking at it as when I hit 40, when I hit 50, you got to have a benchmark to look at. So I had my full physical and prostate checked and all that kind of stuff. And I did the same when I was 40. So, and a couple of years when I hit 50, I'm going to be doing the same thing. So,
and it seems to be a point of pride with men. Oh, I never go to the doctor. I don't like doctors, or I never call in sick to work because I have to go. Like it's this weird point of pride, and you're only hurting you. That's the only person that you're hurting in that. Well, again, not necessarily just you, because again, if you do get sick, you're gonna hurt everyone around you that cares about you and loves you and such. But at the end of the day, yeah, get checked, guys. And if you're not feeling well, it's okay. It's okay to call in sick to work. It's okay to call your doctor again appointment. It's okay to go to a walk-in clinic if you're not feeling right. Or like Ed's saying, it's okay. I'm about to hit 50. You don't think I'm going to be making an appointment with my doctor to get top to tails checked out? Absolutely. Yeah. Of course I am. And that includes little sticks that I got to put my poop on and mail it off there and make sure that everything's cool. Like this is what we have to do and we can do. And Loki Quinn just said it in the chat too. You're not paying for any of it. There's no charge to you but your time. Do it. There's people that love and care about you that would miss you if you were not around. So as Erica was just saying in the chat too, celebrating 10 years for our man Corey here. Absolutely. So amazing. And 5 years cancer free, man. Like that's fucking awesome. So, all right. Serious time is over. We said our piece. We did our bit for King and Country. It is time to bring back the top 10 mustaches of all time. So again, if you're joining us late, guys, by the way, there's 14 people over on that Instagram. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. We are still going to encourage you to get on over to YouTube and watch us there live. 15 people on Instagram now. And a note to our Instagram faithful, 16 now. We're just climbing like mad. We're probably getting to a point, we're looking maybe around January 1, sometime in there. We are likely going to stop the live stream on Instagram. And we are going to strictly be using YouTube and Facebook, mostly focus on YouTube. So get your butts on over to Facebook or YouTube. Watch us there live because as of, I believe, January 1, until StreamYard allows us to use one platform to stream across on Instagram, we will likely be dropping the live Instagram feed. So I'm on both platforms. Yes, thank you very much. Appreciate that, guys. Anybody that's dual platforming it, that's awesome. But yes,
I am on this screen right now, and I'm still all three.
Well, I am also dual platforming it. I am watching it. Yes, it feels a little masturbatory, but I do have the
it's
YouTube
weird.
video.
Yeah,
if you see that I keep looking up, I keep looking at the YouTube feed.
Yeah,
up here,
exactly. Because the YouTube feed is like a half second behind. So producer Jen is on both tonight too. Yes. So by the way, guys, for everyone that is joining us on here or on Instagram, I'm not telling you guys. We still appreciate it regardless. Let's get into. Yeah, there we go. Keith L. Come join us on YouTube. We have cookies, just like the dark side, exactly what we're talking about. But for the Instagram faithful, we will have to keep telling you out loud what our rankings of mustaches are. Corey, since you are joining us for the first time, I think it's only fair that you give us our first pick, top 10 mustaches of all time across all time and space.
Oof, that's a lot of pressure to go first.
It is a lot of pressure, I know.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you need a number too, or are we just going to throw them haphazardly?
Well, right now it's number one because that's all we have. So
okay, all right, no, I'm with it. All right, then across all time and space, I am going to throw in. It's very topical, just given that there's a little Netflix show. If some of you haven't seen it already, happens to be called Wednesday. I am going to throw Gomez Addams into the ring, and the actors who play him, because every single one of them has a fantastic mustache to go along with the look, the vibe, the general coifness that is Gomez Addams. So that is my first one that I'll throw in the ring.
Gomez Addams, he's going to be number one right now. Is he going to stay number one? Who knows? I want to make sure everybody's cool with the fact that Gomez Addams, singularly fantastic mustache. In any iteration of Gomez Addams, absolutely. You can all pick your favorites. Ariana on Instagram is going, yeah. So yeah, so we got a little bit of snap going on, of course, absolutely. Ed, what do you think? Gomez Adams, you're down with him being on the list?
Oh yeah, he's number 10 for me. He's number 10 on my list.
Number 10 on your
10.
list.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah, lots of iterations, TV, movies, cartoons, comics. I'm sure there's some Addams Family comics going around out there.
Well, going right back to 1936 when Gomez was introduced. He wasn't even called Gomez at that point, but he still had a mustache.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, cannot get away from that one. So yeah, definitely Gomez Adams on the list. Good one, Corey. Great choice. Everyone's saying in the chat. Look at that, sir.
Aim to please.
It's Adams. There you go. Ed, why don't you go ahead and give us our next mustache? Will it supplant Gomez as the number 1 mustache, or is it going to be number 2?
Number 1 on my list, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
The Hulkster, kids. Well, you know something, Mean Gene.
Let me tell you something, brother.
Listen to Adams. Oh, all right. Jesus
no.
Christ. You can tell Megan and Eric are in the chat there. Hold on. Boy, howdy. There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
So
make your case, sir, for Hulk.
Hulk Hogan. Is there a more definable mustache than Hulk's in the 80s? Is there more definable to the character? If you go onto Instagram and just type in, like, just for an emoji and type in Hulk Hogan, the first thing that comes up is a mustache. Hulk Hogan, there's only really one movie he ever did where he had the mustache shaved off? Was it one of the direct to TNT ones? Shadow Warrior?
So I'm not really a Hulk Hogan movie aficionado, so I could not tell you. But
even in the days of the NWO, like, he still had the mustache with the black beard going on. So, Hulk Hogan, number 1. On my list for mustache.
It's iconic, man. I am not going to argue. I mean,
because like, if you shaved Hogan's mustache off, it's not really Hulk Hogan. Like, it doesn't look like Hulkster. Like, you got to have the mustache, brother.
Yeah, no.
Corey, what are you thinking? Is he our new number 1, or does he go below Gomez Adams?
That's a good question. Like, he's definitely up there. I don't know if I'm comfortable throwing him number 1 right this second, but, like, let's do it. Let's do it and argue later.
Well, he would be number 1 by default. Yeah, he would just be above Gomez Adams, right?
We'd argue later. All right,
that's right.
No, let's throw him above. Let's throw him above.
I think
because there's only
the key
one
here
Hulkster. There's a bunch of Gomez. That's
what I'm thinking. What I think it is partly is if it was nothing but a picture of the mustache and nothing else, you wouldn't necessarily know that was Gomez Adams. But you would know if it was just the mustache of Hulk Hogan. You'd be like, that's clearly Hulk Hogan's mustache. Yes. So yeah, that seems like it's got to be there. So I'm really hoping this will work. Okay. Sure. Well, we'll try it, but Hulk Hogan brother. All right.
Brother.
I almost wrote brother there, but that's terrible. And I don't even know if I'm going to be able to make it so that we can get all 10 on the screen at the same time. Hold on. Let me try this, because this is just not going well at all. You know what? Close enough. All right. Yeah, then we'll go with that. I don't know. Okay. I guess it's my pick. So I'm going to have to mention the Selleck. I mean, come on. It's Magnum PI. It's Tom Selleck. It is, in my mind, the most iconic mustache of all time. Even though Tom Selleck himself was maybe not as big a star as either Gomez Adams or Hulk Hogan, I think when you think mustache, who is the absolute first guy that comes to mind when you think mustache? Personally, for me, it's Tom Selleck, Magnum PI days. Anything else he's ever done, anytime he does shave the mustache, you're like, who the fuck is that guy and why did he do that? Stop trying to be cool with the kids and get the mustache back on. So what do you guys think? As far as, I think we're going to have a fight between Hulk Hogan and Tom Selleck, but in my mind, Selleck's number 1. But
Selleck is number 3 on my list.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Just because in later years, Tom Selleck is going with the goatee. He went with the beard. The mustache. Well, I guess Friends even did the one episode where he shaved the mustache off, and everyone's like, what happened to it? But
right. Yes.
But that's why he was number 3 on my list, just because he hasn't always kept it. He's modified it over the years.
Is there anyone that you can think of?
Like the
Sorry, go ahead,
perennial
Corey.
mustaches. Oh no, no worries. The perennial mustache, like his has gone away. Where like Hulk Hogan, maybe once, Gomez Adams always has a mustache. So like, yeah, I'm kind of thinking he's below, but that's just me.
He's below both of them.
I think so.
You guys want to put Selleck at number 3?
I have no problem with Selleck being number 3 because he's number 3 on my list.
Oh man, alive, guys! I'm getting outvoted. I know you're all. Everybody in the chat's like, this podcast is over. Selleck is over. So you guys are about to feel what JS and I felt on that first villain podcast, where everybody was shitting on us. Y'all are about to get a taste of this.
We're not even done our list yet.
I
There's
know.
still a whole bunch of great
putting,
mustaches on there.
We're already putting
on
Selleck
number
at number 3 after everybody was
a
like,
long way to go.
"Ugh, this document is absolutely brutal. I don't know why it's set up this way. Like this is not going to. You know what? I might have to ditch this and just do it like a regular, because this is just not working at all. None of the numbers are lining up. So, yeah, I don't know.
There we go. That works.
Yeah, that's fine.
That works.
I'm wondering if I could just get rid of this altogether. Whoa, no, that's not right. There we go. That's what I wanted to do.
There we go.
All right. Okay. And then can I bullet point it maybe? Well, let me do that. Hey, look at that shit. Okay. Perfect. Not perfect, but here we are.
What a great
Hulk Hogan number 1, Gomez
Japanese
Adams
technology.
number 2, and Tom Selleck number 3. I mean, who's raging? Tom is it. Good night. Boo.
We're not done yet.
Yes, but we've already got. I think we are, because
done.
we've already got Selleck at 3, and people are already fucking mad. Whose turn is it? This list has
Corey's.
already gone to shit in a hurry. Corey, save
Corey's.
us from ourselves.
Oh boy. Okay.
Who's your next pick?
I'm gonna put it below where we're at right now, but I'm gonna throw in Mario, Super Mario himself.
Cannot
going
be
across all time and
denied.
space.
Iconic stash, absolutely.
I have him number 5 on my list, so I'm good with Mario.
Ooh. Okay. We're getting close. We're seeing eye to eye. I think we may have compared notes ahead of time.
Mario's
See?
Mario's not even on my list. Hold on, I'm gonna put Super Mario just so people.
Yeah, so they don't think it's like Mario Lemieux during Movember.
That's right, Mario Andretti or whatever. Yeah, exactly. We want to make sure that it's the proper Super Mario. You even use Hulk's mustache on one of the posts for this podcast. For this, absolutely, yeah, of course, yeah, no, absolutely. It's just, yeah, you even used Hulk's mustache on one of the posts for this podcast this week. Says Keith,
yeah.
no, absolutely. There's no denying that Hulk is he is not real. You are right, Michael. He is not real. Ooh. We have said this is for both real and not real. That's why Gomez Adams is up there. So this is across all time. Loki Quinn says Ron Jeremy. We already have Super Mario. I feel like that's
no. Ron Jeremy played Super Mario in the. Let's not get into that.
Or sorry, adjacent. I always say that wrong. It's adjacent. We're good.
That was a completely different website.
Oh, I did mean to have a little addendum, by the way, and I shouldn't have to say this, but I'm going to say this aloud anyway. We are not going to be putting the Hitler on the list. Okay, everybody knows that mustache. I get it, but we're not going to discuss it. This is not the top 10 list of greatest monsters of all time. It is. We are not celebrating anything to do with. So Charlie Chaplin, unfortunately, also does not go on the list because it's the same one. So.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nothing like somebody killing off a mustache
badly, and
nobody could ever use it again, except for J. Jonah Jameson. He's the only person who's been able to pull it off.
And his is still far enough out. I feel like because he's not really. Michael Jordan tried, and it was there's some Hanes commercials out there where those are bad.
We don't talk about that version of MJ. We don't talk about that version.
No. Okay, so we are good with Super Mario at number 4. Yep. I believe that makes it your turn, Ed.
All right. Well, my next pick, and I would put him at my number 2, is Burt Reynolds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Burt Reynolds, no question, he belongs on the list. Again, where do we put him? Prominent prominent in the 80s and maybe into the 90s. Kind of fell off at that point, as most Hollywood actors do. Would he have been as good without the stash? I would argue he probably would have been.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, that's stat. Where would he go on the? Where is he? Oh, he's your number 2, Ed.
He's number 2 on my list. He's above
Yeah.
Tom Selleck for me, just because also his drawing power in the 70s, like top box office star in the 70s.
He was definitely the bigger star. Did he have the better stash? That's the key.
I don't know. You look at
Does Tom Selleck have a
Smokey.
drink named after him?
What's that?
You're going to get a shot. You're going to get a Burt Reynolds. You're not going to get a Tom Selleck.
I mean, we could probably. There's probably a Tom Selleck shot. There has to be, don't you think?
I don't want to know what that is. I don't want to know what that shot is.
I would like to point out though that when he was on Archer, Burt Reynolds asked for a Pim's cup as opposed to a Burt Reynolds. I found that. Which, by the way, Pim's cup, if you haven't had one, delicious. Just so we're very, very good. Yep.
Well,
Very
plus
good.
when he was on Archer, he had the mustache then.
He did have the mustache then, yes.
He has.
I think same thing. I think there's only been a handful of little things that he's done, especially in his later years, where he'd shaved the mustache off. But for the most part, he's been pretty true to it. You're saying number 2, man, that seems high, but I still think Gomez Adams is way too high. So I mean, I don't know. So you want to put him above Selleck?
Yep. He's number 2 on my list.
Corey, where are you thinking? Does he go above Gomez? Is he number 1? Does he go above Hogan?
No, he doesn't go above Hogan. I think he goes above Selleck. I argue that he doesn't go above Gomez only because Gomez has staying power because he's a character. So Gomez will live on. Like, we'll still have the legend of Burt Reynolds. I think he might live on as the shot, but as the actor, he's going to go away eventually, and he's not going to be in our minds for much longer. So I would put him at 3, but I wouldn't put him at 2. But that's just, again, that's me.
Megan makes a good point. When you look up Reynolds, throw his IMDb photo doesn't have a stash. I find that very interesting. And well, I bet your sweet ass. I bet you Tom Selleck's does.
That's intriguing. That's
that is intriguing.
Nuance.
Okay, so I think we're going to split the difference because personally, I would actually put Burt below Selleck, but you guys are saying above. Ed, you've got him at number 2. Corey, you've got number 3. I think we're going to split the difference, and I'm going to put him at number 3. Okay, as that can make.
All right.
I can live with number 3.
Yeah.
This is a compromise. I personally think Gomez Adams is way too high, but hey, we are going to the people have spoken, so that's what we're going to do. That was Ed, so it's me.
Yep.
Well, if I don't, see now. Okay, there's only so far. Oh, there's 2 fictional characters, so I guess we could get into that. But no, I have to say it. The Canadian me is screaming out right now. Alex Trebek. I gotta throw Alex Trebek on there. The host of Jeopardy, long-time host of Jeopardy, beloved man. Same thing. He did shave it off a couple of times. So
no, he shaved it off in 2003 and never had it since.
And hasn't had it. So he never had it after 2003.
Nope.
Wow, that I didn't know. Well,
nope.
maybe my pick is bad, but whenever I think of Trebek, I think of the mustache. Like automatically.
Trebek is on my list. He's an honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah, I think honorable mention is probably where I'd put him too, because young Trebek had it, and then old Trebek decided, nah, like let's not.
It wasn't cool.
Let's not deal with that.
Okay, so for now, I'm going to put him
young
at the
Trebek
very.
Looked good. Like he looked good. I'm not.
Yep.
I'm going to put him at the very, very bottom of the list, so he will get kicked. So we're saying honorable mention. So as each name gets added, they'll supplant Mr. Trebek there. So. Your mother's a whore, Trebek. Anyways, so guys, I believe. Sam Elliott. Someone saying in there. Yeah, absolutely. That is Sam Elliott is on my list as well. So, and I've got a ton of honorable mentions that I'll probably just ring off at the end of the thing. But who's up? I believe it's Corey.
Yep.
So odd enough, I was going to pick Sam Elliott. So get out of my head. In my head, please. It's scary in there. You don't want to be in there.
I mean, come on, like, dude, Sam Elliott is again, same thing. He has shaved it off. If this seems to be one of our criteria is if you've ever shaved it off, he has spent time without it, but when he has it, boy, howdy. Yep. Is there a better stash? I don't know. As far as like just the grandiose, the thickness, the sheer manliness combined with that voice. crazy. Well, Ron Swanson is also, he's in my honorable mentions, but Ron Swanson is absolutely on there. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Where does
He's 6 on my list.
Hollywood legend Sam Elliott go on the list?
I'd put him above Trebek, but under Super Mario. For me, anyway.
Yep.
I have good with that.
My list, Mario is 5 and Sam Elliott's 6.
Okay, you did get my email. Okay, good. I really wanted to confirm that at some point. Like, yeah, you did get it. All right, great.
Wow, we're following criteria now. This is new. Oh, Ariana. How do you boot someone out of the chat? Sam Elliott, yeah, you can't deny. Dude, trust me, it's scarier in my head. I'm good. Yeah, no. Sam Elliott, come on, man. Like, it's just his appearance in The Big Lebowski alone is reason enough to put him on this list. But like everything the dude has ever, except for what was the one that he did with Ashton, The Ranch?
Yeah,
Ashton Kutcher. He did not have it for that, right? Is that the one that I'm remembering that he didn't have it for, or is it something else he didn't have it for?
No, I think he had. I've never watched The Ranch.
Yeah,
He's had it shaved off a bunch of times, but
it was one. Yeah, but it's one of those, or maybe it was Justified. Whichever one it was one of those moments where same thing with Tom Selleck on Friends. You're like, what did you do and why did you do that? And don't ever do that again. Like
he just had the kind of the scruff going on in Roadhouse.
Oh, okay. Eric is saying still had it for The Ranch, so maybe I am thinking of Roadhouse, fantastic. Maybe I'm thinking of Justified. Then maybe when I saw it, I was like, no, sir, no, that will not do. That will not do at all.
Put it back. Put it back.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ed.
All right. So my number 3 is already on our list, so I'm going to switch to my number 4, Freddie Mercury.
Oh, he's also on my list. He's also
on my list too.
Now we're gonna have a hard time not getting caught up in nostalgia on this, but we still, I mean, go ahead, Ed. Make the case for Freddie. I don't think you need to, but make the case.
Well, once he grew the mustache, he never looked like he's a weird looking guy to begin with, and once he grew the mustache, it was like what framed his face perfectly. So, and after he has it on, you really can't picture Freddie Mercury without it.
No, fair.
You know, the most iconic Freddie Mercury was that mustache. Live Aid, you know,
absolutely.
Wembley Stadium.
No. Same thing like that. Yeah, no. There's no question as far as like musicians go. He's right up there with like a James Hetfield or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just that mustache on him was. If you see anybody doing a cosplay or dressing up as Freddie Mercury, the first thing they do is they paste that mustache right on there. So it's. There's no question it's iconic, and at one point he was probably the biggest rock star on planet Earth. So it's hard to deny. Having said that, where does he go on the list?
The way I'm looking at the list right now, 5.
I would say okay. I was going to say 4.
Okay, that bumps Tom down to 5.
Yeah, but I think he'd probably be between Tom and Bert. In fact, you could probably make an argument for 3. Musicians are a whole other thing. You know what I mean? Like the fame that musicians have is just
no. You're right. You're right.
The best of his era, bar none. Like I don't know.
I wouldn't have I love Burt Reynolds. He's one of my tops, so I don't have a problem with. I can make a compromise and put Freddie Mercury at 3.
Okay, Corey, what are you thinking?
I like 3 or 4. Either one I think makes sense because like it's such an iconic figure. Like you don't make you're not going to go see a Burt Reynolds documentary in a bunch of years. You're not going to see well, you might, but you've seen the Freddie Mercury documentary. That is quintessentially him. That's when he became an icon. So yeah, 3 or 4 is absolutely deserved.
So for those on Instagram or those that are dear listeners that are going to be listening to the podcast after the fact, the list is as follows thus far. Number 1 is Hulk Hogan. Number 2 is Gomez Addams. Number 3 is now Freddie Mercury. Number 4 is Burt Reynolds. Number 5 is Tom Selleck. Number 6 is Super Mario. Number 7 is Sam Elliott. And number 8 is Alex Trebek. And I believe, is it my turn again already?
Yep.
Damn it.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're running.
No, we're doing very well. I'm very impressed with how smoothly this is going to go. This is going so far. Take it back to the fictional side of things. Ned Flanders.
You took mine.
Oh, sorry, man.
He's
I
number.
figured-
Don't worry about it. You're good.
I mean,
He's number 9 on my list.
it's the same. The Simpsons is into their 30 some odd year, longest running primetime show on television, and Ned Flanders has been there pretty much since the jump. So,
And he's only shaved it once.
yeah.
Yep.
Half the euphemisms we have for what we call a mustache comes from Ned Flanders. It's just the impact is same thing. You just put a picture of Ned Flanders' mustache up on a screen. Everybody knows that that's Ned Flanders' mustache. So I think he's got to be on the list, and I would have an argument for maybe not top 5, but not a whole lot below that. What do you guys think? Ed, you said you had him at 9.
I have him at 9.
So on our current list, looking at it now, I'm assuming that you'd put him at 8.
Yep.
That feels low to me, but Corey, what do you think?
I'm between either before Mario or after. Like I'm kind of putting him in the same sort of echelon.
Yeah, me too.
Kind of where I'm at with it is that it's an iconic mustache. It's an iconic character that's associated with it. And yeah, I still think that recognizability, like Selleck and Burt Reynolds, I think still transcend the animated character. So yeah, I'd put him throw him above Super Mario. Why not? Let's go crazy.
Ed, are you good? Can you live with that, Ed? If we put him at 6?
Yeah, I could live there. We're still not done our list yet.
No. We got all kinds, so we're good there. Ned Flanders. Boom. Just like that. Not bad, kids. Not bad. So Ned Flanders has slid into number 6. Who is up? Ed?
Nope,
Or is it Corey?
I think
Corey, go ahead.
I think it's on me. Yeah. Yep. Torn. Where am I going next? I think I'm gonna throw in I'll throw in Nick Offerman. So he is the one who plays Ron Swanson, but I will throw in Nick Offerman as the person, as opposed to Ron Swanson. And the reason being is just that he sort of personifies that like manhood kind of thing. Like you've seen him, like he has his own woodworking business. He's drinking Lagavulin. Like he shoehorned Lagavulin into the show for his love of it, to the degree that they sent him to the Lagavulin distillery as part of his character on the show. Like just fun kind of personification of like bold manliness, but put into just like a fluffy thing on your face. So yeah, I fucking love Nick Offerman and Ron Swanson for that reason.
My only argument against, I had him down as an honorable mention. My only argument against it is that is really, and I know I just said Ned Flanders and he only appears on The Simpsons, but like if you haven't seen Parks and Rec and you've seen Nick Offerman in almost anything else, he rarely has just that mustache. It's usually either he's clean shaven or he's got the beard or what have you. So if you're not a Parks and Rec guy, you may not even know who the hell we're talking about at this point.
Yeah, that's fair.
What are you thinking, Ed, as far as?
I would say honorable mention.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a Parks and Rec guy, but I do, people know who the character is, but I don't think he's as iconic as other characters we could put on the list.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. Like I did have him written down,
fair.
but I definitely had him as an honorable mention. So as far as, no, we don't quite have honorable mentions yet. We just have people that end up falling off the list. So as far as the bottom of the list goes, would he be above or below Trebek?
Oh, it'd be below Trebek. He's going to be the first one bumped off this list.
Okay. So do we
that.
want to write Ron Swanson or do you want to write Nick Offerman?
I would say
you actually said Nick Offerman.
I would say Ron Swanson because Ron Swanson always had the mustache. Nick Offerman normally has a beard.
You know what? I'm just going to do Swanson.
Swanson. There you go.
Okay. There we go. He is. Yeah, you're right. It's irrevocably tied. Like I said, I don't know if I've ever seen him in any other role where he didn't have the stash type of thing or where he did have the stash. So, oh man, I am just fucking this up royally. You know what? I'm just going to do this. Awful. Okay. Why didn't I just hit like undo until I got to a point where it doesn't help that my glasses are, you know what? Anyways, now I'm going to sound like a really old man. So
sticking yourself deeper and deeper.
Yeah,
just
that's
digging
right.
that grave.
All right. Who's up next?
Me.
Oh, wow. That's, you know what? Sorry. Michael just made a really good suggestion that I never even thought of in a million years. And now that he said it, it makes perfect. Colonel Sanders. Yeah, that's crazy good, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
even
good
think of
one.
it. That's hilarious. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
All
Ed,
right.
you're up.
So next on my list, so I had Sam Elliott and Mario. They're both on there. So number 7 on my list is Yosemite Sam.
Wow. Same thing.
Oh.
Not even on my list. That is a pick, man. Yeah, there's no question there that's iconic.
60-something years of the character. Never seen him. Have we ever seen him without the mustache?
Oh, I've not seen every single thing that they've ever put him in, but I would probably suggest no.
Maybe as like a gag or something in it. Like he might have gotten it shaved off by bugs, and then the next scene it's back again miraculously or something.
Yeah,
I think that's the only way I could think of it.
But not just like, hey, everybody, it's Yosemite Sam without the mustache. Like that's definitely not a thing that's ever happened. I would think.
No, that's a great one. That's a great one.
Yeah, it is. That is a good one. Yeah. Shit. Where we put Yosemite Sam on this list? I didn't even think about it. As soon as you said it was like the Colonel Sanders one, I was like, shit, that's really good. Like I didn't even.
It's a good deep cut. Yeah.
That didn't even occur to me.
I would put,
and
in my opinion,
by the way, this is a little bit generational. Like there might be some Zoomers watching this going, "Who the fuck is Yosemite Sam?" So I mean, I guess we kind of have to take that into account. This is for an older crowd, right?
I would, in my opinion, I put him number 9 on this list, and knock Ron Swanson off.
I'd be okay. I honestly could see him higher. Like now that you've said it, it's like it's stuck in my head where I'm like, yeah, that is.
It's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, like I kind of want to put him above like Trebek and Sam Elliott too. Like it's such a distinguishable.
Like 8?
Like I think 8. Actually, honestly, I kind of would even maybe put him above like Flanders. Like I feel like Mario and Flanders are weird, but that's just like that. It's now going to be in my brain all night. That mustache. Honestly, it's a good thing to be in my brain all night. It's fine.
No, this is why we're doing this. This is good. I like it when we get, because everyone that we've mentioned so far, we've all thought of, and so we already kind of had it in our brains like where it would go or what it would be. But he hits us with this fucking Yosemite Sam, and we're both shook. We're like, I don't even know. Like that.
Megan is saying 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, Erica is saying Yosemite Sam would be way higher than Trebek on my own list. So I feel like, wow. Okay, do we want to go 6? Is that what we're thinking? Like above Flanders but below Selleck?
I could go with Yosemite Sam at 6.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, that's the dude.
It's a more distinguished mustache than Flanders and Mario.
Horse.
Yeah, nice.
Yosemite Sam. Wow,
that's a good one.
Yeah, what? Yeah. Mike Myers absolutely. In there. It's so good you forgot about it. Yeah, absolutely. Well done. Well done.
Earned.
Yep. Not even on my list. That's impressive. That's iconic. Anyways, I told you my list was weak on fictional characters. I couldn't come up with a lot of them. So. And the ones I did come up with were lame. So, anywho, whose turn is it?
Yours.
All right. Well, speaking
Pick one of your lame characters.
Fine. Commissioner Gordon.
Ooh.
Stop glaring at me and Henry Cavill. He had a mustache for one movie. And then a whole other movie got ruined trying to get rid of that mustache. So, we're not putting Henry Cavill on the list.
It's a good honorable mention for the moment. But beyond that, yeah.
You're talking about Henry Cavill, or you're talking about Commissioner Gordon?
No, I'm talking about Cavill. I'm super talking about Cavill.
Yeah. I'll make the case for Gordon. Obviously, he's been around for like 80 years. Same thing. Has never not had the mustache.
Except
multiple movies.
66, he didn't have a mustache.
Well, you're right. In 66, you're right. I'm sorry. But pretty much every other instance, he's had the stash. Multiple actors, multiple animated, thousands of appearances in the comic books. It's pretty iconic. I would see Omni-Man. Yeah, I'm looking at my Omni-Man figure that Ed got me right now as I'm looking at that mustache. I'm like, look at that glorious thing. But that definitely an honorable mention for that. But yeah, man, I don't know. Commissioner Gordon was pretty fucking high on my list. I'm not gonna lie, just because the iconography of it. I mean,
I would, in my opinion, it'd be an honorable mention because I never even thought of him.
well, I could say the same about your Yosemite Sam, sir. Come on.
But you popped. When I said Yosemite Sam, you popped.
I think as far as the impact goes, though, I mean, there's like the cop with the mustache is like, come on, it's a whole thing, right? So I figure, and Gordon exemplifies that. But
I like Gordon. I don't think he's more iconic than Yosemite Sam, though. That's a good mustache.
No. It is a good mustache. You're right. I would suggest Yosemite Sam probably. The big RB is on my list, Jennifer. Don't worry about that. Don't you worry. He's clearly. I'm going to be the one to mention it. So let's be fair. Yeah. What are you guys thinking as far as Commissioner Gordon goes? You're saying honorable mention, Ed. So,
yep.
Corey, where are you at?
I'm kind of also in honorable mention territory. Like, I think the only thing I was kind of like waffling on is I was like maybe above Sam Elliott, and that's about as far as I would get it because like. You're right on the history part. Like he's had it for decades kind of thing. But yeah, like that's kind of where I'm at. Is like you could throw him an honorable mention, but I would also be fine with like 9.
No, if you both
Maybe
are saying
10.
Honorable mention, then he'll be honorable mention. I don't know. Anything below 10 isn't really going to matter anyway. So for now, I'll put him below Trebek.
Yeah, that's fine. Where is he on your list again? What number?
He's like 5 on my list.
Okay.
He's the quintessential cop mustache. I feel like all the different cop mustache things that have happened over the course of the years have happened almost strictly because of Gordon back in the 40s. But again, that's just my brain doing my brain things and just the sheer number of appearances. But anyways, back to Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill counts the same way Cesar Romero does. The mustache isn't iconic, but the controversy is. I think when everything shakes out and everybody looks back at Henry Cavill's career, I don't think anybody's going to be talking about Mustache Gate at that point. So I think we can let the Henry Cavill mustache thing go. I would put Cesar Romero's way above Henry Cavill's, by the way, just so we're clear.
Henry Cavill didn't have a mustache. The mustache was working with Henry Cavill.
That's right.
And then the mustache has gone into retirement. He's living in Boca Raton right now.
Took his payday and ran.
Yeah.
Yep. Who's up? Is it Corey?
Me.
Corey.
Excellent.
All right. So I thought of this today, and I thought that this was a deep cut that I hadn't thought of this in a long time. So I think I know where it's going to land. But Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah. One of the first ones I thought of too.
You did think of him?
I did think Snidely Whiplash was like one of the first like fictional characters that I thought of when it came to mustaches. Again, we just lost every millennial and Gen Z on the planet with Snidely Whiplash because no one's got any fucking idea who we're talking about. But personally, I would think Snidely would be an honorable mention myself. But
the honorable mention in mine, in my book.
Yeah,
iconic.
I'm fine with that. I just think about the playing of the mustache, and it's like
fantastic.
He's who I remember. Like that movement, that thing. Like I think of him. I don't really think of anybody else with like playing with the mustache and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But like I also think that like most people also just think of Muttley and the laugh more than they think of Snidely Whiplash and the exactly.
Sure. Yeah.
So I'm fine with it being an honorable mention because like we got a pretty rock solid list at this point. I'm gonna do it. I'm sorry. We're trimming hairs.
Jesus fucking Christ. Look at that. That was so bad he froze. That's how bad that fucking joke was. He actually froze on the stream. Even the internet was like, fuck this guy. Awful.
But yeah, I'd put him as an honorable mention. Like you could put him below Gordon and that would be fine with me. I think of that.
Yeah. Anybody below 10 is just below 10 for like there's no order to any of that. So it's all just if you're not in the top 10, you're an honorable mention. So don't get hung up on the order of anything below 10 because it doesn't really matter at that point. This is a top 10 list, not a top 20 list. So He was Dudley Do Right's enemy. He was, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yep. No. I thought of Snidely, but yeah, it's not.
It's also in Wacky Races. That's
Right?
That's a weirder deep cut for people.
Weird deep cut. Yosemite Sam is still blowing my tits off. It's hilarious. All right, go ahead, Ed. You're up.
Well,
Eddie.
pretty much the rest of my list is already on our list. So I'll pull the last one out of new ones. Dum Dum Dugan from Marvel.
Oh, yep. Definitely
And
honorable. He'd definitely be an honorable mention for me for sure.
I'm okay. He was number 8 on my list, but now looking at the list, I'm good with Dum Dum being an honorable mention just because I love Dum Dum. He's one of my favorite Marvel characters, but just the recognition isn't there. Like,
no, the impact is definitely not there. It's a great choice, but yeah, there's just not enough. I think he was only in the one film, right?
The one film. He's been in
Yeah.
the comics since
The comics forever. Yeah, for sure.
But people aren't really going to know who Dum Dum is if they don't read Marvel. So.
No, that's fair. Corey, you're good with him being an honorable mention?
Oh yeah, that's fine. I will be honest. I don't exactly know who that is, so I don't really have a spot to speak here. But
well,
yeah,
that's all. How do you spell? Is it Dugan? Is that it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. Is the guy, one of the guys with the mustache on the pod, doesn't know who it is. That's pretty.
Sorry,
guys.
guys.
So no, it's okay. No, it's all right. I only know it because Ed played it. That's the only reason I even know who that character is. So
yeah.
So for those listening or for those watching on Instagram, the list is as follows. Number 1 is Hulk Hogan. Number 2 is Gomez Adams. Number 3 is Freddie Mercury. Number 4 is Burt Reynolds. Number 5 is Tom Selleck. Number 6, coming out of left field, is Yosemite Sam. Number 7 is Ned Flanders. Number 8 is Super Mario. Number 9 is Sam Elliott. And number 10 is Alex Trebek. As far as honorable mentions go, we have Commissioner Gordon, Sandy Whiplash, Ron Swanson, and now Dum Dum Dugan. Whose turn is it?
It's yours.
Yeah,
Ron fucking Burgundy.
Yeah.
Of course, I have to say Ron Burgundy. I'm the guy that cosplayed him, but and again, same thing. He's just all-time fantastic mustache. Now, the argument, of course, can be made. There was only 2 films, and that's now he's appeared in TV spots and commercials and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, there's really just the 2 films, and one of them was shit. So I would understand if this, in fact, ends up being an honorable mention, but at the same time, the character is iconic. The mustache to go with the character is iconic. If you need to know how iconic the character is, you should have seen us at Niagara Falls Comic-Con when Mick Foley comes trotting over wanting a picture with our group. So I don't know, man. What do you guys think as far as that goes?
Number 10.
Number 10 on your list?
I would take Alex Trebek off to have Ron Burgundy.
I kind of am debating. I'm like, I kind of want Trebek and Sam Elliott to be switched, and then Burgundy fits in that 10 spot. Because like, I don't want to knock Trebek out. That's just where I'm at right now. But like, I think Ron Burgundy is in the top 10.
But you would be knocking Sam Elliott off the list.
I think
so.
So
If you're
I'm
choosing between Sam Elliott and Trebek to get knocked off the list, Ron Burgundy above Trebek. Yeah.
No, I mean, maybe I'm drunk. Maybe the stout's hitting. No, I like 10.
Ed, are you good with 10?
Yeah, I'm good with Ron Burgundy being number 10.
Okay.
As we said, when
your mother's a whore, Trebek. You're gone.
Ron Burgundy movie came out, that's when Alex Trebek shaved off his mustache.
Right.
Huh.
Funny that.
Yeah.
Now, can I... Oh, don't start fucking around, dum-dum. Okay. Just to make sure we can still fit it all in there. Okay.
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. Everyone, hold on to your...
Hold on to your butts.
Producer Jen said shit's about to go down. Trebek shaved it. Elliot never did. Trebek's out, says Mike Myers. So...
Yeah,
for almost all of my lifetime, Trebek has been clean shaven. No, I get the millennials and the Zoomers don't really remember Trebek with a stash, but for many, many, many years before that, he had the stash. And again, same thing. When Will Ferrell would play Alex Trebek on Saturday Night Live, he would typically have the stash. So
always.
Yeah. Yep. Anywho, we're good there. Anybody, Corey, do you have anybody left on your list that you want to throw on there? Because I think, Ed, we've tapped your list, yes?
you've tapped my list, but I've got my honorable mentions, and maybe I'll pull one out of left field again, and you
Possibly, because we can rapid fire off some
Possible.
honorable mentions kind of towards the end, like guys that we know that aren't going to be on that we just want to make sure that we mention. But Corey, what do you think? Have you got one that might crack?
I'm torn because it's like he's got the same threshold as Ron Burgundy. It's 2 films, and it's a pretty iconic saying that he has that's mustache related. So I'll just ask the question, and we'll see if people understand where I'm going. Who wants to go for a mustache ride? I'm talking about Thorny from Super Troopers.
I mean, dude, there's every mustache in Super Troopers is fantastic.
It was hard to pick one, but I was like, that's
who wants the mustache ride? Yeah, Ramathorn's mustache is fantastic. Ride? And not to be outdone, Farva's is just as bad as Ramathorn's is good, for sure.
It's pretty
no question.
Disgusting.
Yeah. And I love how much shit they give to Foster and Rabbit for not growing mustaches. It's fantastic. But yeah, I mean, Thorny's is great. There's no question. And by the way, Super Troopers is like in my top 3 movies of all time. Like I watched Super Troopers so many times. I still think it's an honorable mention. Unfortunately,
I'm
just
fine
not
with that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Like I look at it of just didn't know what that meant at the time, and I had to look it up, and it has been in my brain ever since.
By the way, I mean, we don't have a Ramathorn, but I'm seeing like 3. You know, we could probably pull together a Super Troopers cosplay pretty goddamn quick and do a pretty good job. So,
that'd be fun.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
We might have to talk about this because I think that might work out well. Anyway, sorry, Ed. What do you think as far as the boys from Super Troopers?
Yeah, honorable mention.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, but so we're just going to put them down here. It doesn't really matter where they go, but and you know what? I'm just going to put Super Troopers because collectively,
that's fine.
It's fantastic mustaches. Is it you, Ed, or is it me?
Yep. No, it's me.
Go ahead. You got someone that's going to maybe crack the top 10?
Well, let's see. Groucho Marx.
I had Groucho Marx down too, but I did still have him as an honorable mention because, again, generationally, again, same thing. We just lost every millennial and Zoomer in the chat, but hell, we probably lost some Gen X people too that don't even know who Groucho Marx is. But
well, and I'm also thinking too, like Groucho Marx is iconic with the mustache. If you think about it, even the the nose and glasses with the fake mustache.
That's based on him. Yeah.
But even that, you don't see those anymore. But I think it's still, Groucho needs a bit of love.
Definitely needs a shout out.
Not in my top 10.
No, not in my top 10 either. But
yeah,
I think he definitely deserves a shout out for sure. So we'll throw him down on the list here. I'm just going to keep adding to. Groucho Marx. I believe that's correct.
Yep.
We're going to do some more formatting shit. All right. There we go.
This is a great list. This is a great list.
So far it's been pretty good. Again, I think Gomez Adams at number 2 really burns my bottom, but that seems to be where everybody was. So maybe we can get into a rapid fire round here. I don't think I don't know about you guys. I'd be pretty shocked if we had anybody else that's going to crack the top 10 at this point. Yep. I think that's pretty darn solid. Like I've got like maybe a good half dozen that I want to at least throw out there, but I don't know that any of them would crack it as far as that goes. Like I'm going to say Salvador Dali.
Yeah.
You just lost the baby boomers.
Yes, well, I understand that.
That's all this podcast is. We're just losing audience as we go.
Yes.
It's just going to be a handful of real questionable suspects by the time we're done this thing.
So here, I'll just ring through the last 4 or 5 that I have and just go from there. And you guys shout out if you think it should be anything. So Salvador Dali, Albert Einstein, another very iconic mustache, Eddie Murphy.
Bushy.
Oh, Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
Eddie Murphy. Again, it can be argued that he is a much bigger star than his mustache, that he would still be exactly as funny as he ever was with or without it. So I always wanted to put him down as an honorable mention, but I mean, I'm willing to discuss it if you guys think he should be on the list.
Yeah, I never even thought of Eddie Murphy with the mustache. That's so.
He had it throughout all those 80s
Yeah.
movies when he was the biggest movie star in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's had it, but
Stan Lee,
Yeah,
that's
like-
actually a very good mark as well. It's not bad.
That's a good one.
Yeah, Eugene Levy, you guys are saying, I don't did Eugene Levy ever have a mustache?
back in SCTV days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I remember him more iconically without.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey, yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I would.
Steve Harvey has a good mustache, but like not.
Yeah, but he's still Steve Harvey.
I have
I like
Stan
Steve
Lee.
Harvey.
I have Stan Lee down as one of my honorables.
You know, Corgi saying Einstein is a great choice. Stan Lee, we could definitely put down as an honorable mention.
Yeah, put Stan Lee on there for respect. He deserves it.
We need some respect for Stan Lee. Put respect
Yeah.
on my name. Okay,
Yeah.
well, he will go right below then. Stemley, good old Stemley, his brother.
That's a good one.
And Lee. There we go. I mean, it's Stanley. There's no question. Wilford Brimley, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, same thing. I know we're losing the younger generation, but come on, man. Every diabetes joke you've ever had in your entire life has all come from Wilford Brimley and that ridiculous mustache on his face.
Is it jokes or saying that word? I'm pretty sure the joke is just saying the word diabetes.
It is, but it's because of the commercial that he did. So it's not like it came out of nowhere. It came out of that commercial series specifically. So
it's funny. The one year he was at Niagara Falls Comic-Con, when we were done, I was standing at the corner of Stanley Ave and where the convention center is, and I look behind me, and there's Wilford Brimley in his wheelchair.
Did he have the mustache?
Yes.
You bet your ass he did.
Yep.
Talk about never not having that mustache. Did that dude ever not have that mustache? Y'all seen Cocoon, right? Come on, man.
The Thing. He didn't have the mustache in The Thing.
Oh, that's right. He didn't have the mustache in The Thing. Yeah, good call. All right, good call. And that's the
probably more people know. Probably more people know him now from The Thing than they do than
from anything else.
The diabetes commercials.
You're absolutely right.
Or the Quaker Oats commercials.
Yep. J. Jonah Jameson was mentioned earlier as well. Charlie Chaplin, unfortunately, we have to disqualify because his mustache is the same as a certain German dictator from the late 30s and early 40s that we agreed we would not be putting on the list. So unfortunately, we cannot include Charlie Chaplin. But J. Jonah, that's a great pick. Absolutely. I put him in the same, obviously, with Commissioner Gordon. They're essentially, they're both iconic characters with mustaches. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's
and the same actor played him on the big screen.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's
funny enough. Yep. What about you guys? Any more honorable mentions you want to throw out here?
Yeah, do you want me to bring back the young crowd? I can do that.
I mean, by all means.
I'm
sure we're just shaving listeners off by all these old-timey ones, that's for sure. So
yeah, no, I'll bring us back. Jim Hopper.
Shaving listeners off. Come on. Shaving listeners off. I get nothing.
Not even
damn, you can say trimming hairs, but I can't say shaving. I see how this fucking is. Yeah. All right, fine.
I'm new here, baby. I got that new sheen. Never been on the podcast.
All right, make your goddamn suggestion.
Yeah, so Jim Hopper from Stranger Things is one that I had on my honorable mentions. He does get more like scraggly and beardy in like the later seasons, so I wasn't married to it, but he does have a good mustache like season 1. Ooh, it's mean. Post Malone, because I'm sure we've all seen the picture of Post Malone where they say his mustache looks like 2 capybaras that are kissing.
Yes, I have seen that, absolutely. But holy shit, did anybody see Mike Myers' suggestion over at Instagram? The Pringles guy.
That's
the Pringles mascot. That is really good.
I originally thought of the Monopoly Man as well.
That one's good too.
Does the Planters Peanut have a mustache?
Pringles guy, that's really good.
Yeah, those are good ones. Does the Planters Peanut guy have a mustache?
No, well, he's a peanut, isn't he?
He just has the monocle.
The monocle, that's right.
Oh yeah, it's just a weirdly aggressive nose that kind of looks like a mustache at certain points.
Yeah, I tell you, that's that Pringles one.
I like that one. That's a fun one.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. Like,
you wanted a deep cut.
I don't know. Yeah, could you go anywhere on the planet and not have that symbol out there and people not know what that is? Like that's a
Probably
global
not.
brand. Like that's whew.
Does
I
it
don't
make
know,
the
boys.
list? Do
I don't
we put
know.
it?
I don't know. That's pretty fucking good.
It's really good, but I would never even have thought about it.
No, me neither. But I wouldn't have thought of Yosemite Sam either, and he's at number 6. So I mean, what are you gonna do?
I'd put him
Colonel
on the
Sanders
list.
is also really good too, but I feel like Colonel Sanders is more like he's got more going on than just the mustache, right? Like, doesn't he have the little?
He's got
he's got like a little
patch or whatever. He's got the but
he's got a little thing too. But for just straight
Pringles
mustache,
guy. Boys, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like Pringles guy's got to be top 10, which is going to break my heart because it's going to bump Ron Burgundy off. But, oh, man. Pringles, dude?
I'd 9.
You know, just looking at it, I never thought about him. But then I look at the logo, and it's like, that's a pretty banging mustache.
Right?
Yeah. I like it at 9, man. I like it.
I like it, too. I really do. I don't want to lose Ron, but I don't know what choice we have. I think it has to go on I think it's got to crack the top 10.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's ruffle some feathers.
Where are you?
Yeah, I hate to see Ron go, but
I don't see we have any choice. It's too good.
Yeah.
No, that's a great one. That's a great one. I like that.
So we're saying above Sam Elliott. So Sam Elliott will go down to 10.
Yeah.
Does anybody know his name? Is it like Mr. Pringles or something? Like, is it just Pringles guy? Is there like a name for him?
I think it is Mr. Pringles. Let's see.
Julius Pringle.
Julius Pringles. Oh, that's a sick
awful
name too. That's great. I love that. Julius Pringles.
Pringles. All right. Well, there he is. Yeah, I mean,
Julius Pringles. I love it. I'm so satisfied with that.
Monopoly Man is also solid with Pringles guy. I feel like the Monopoly guy and the Pringles guy is almost like, yeah, I am truly, see, this is kind of where I was at. I am truly an Addams Family stan, but I'll be honest, I think you're losing some more famous mustaches to Gomez here. It still seemed high to me right from the jump, but I mean, I was kind of outvoted on this one, so.
You asked me to go first, man.
No,
that's the fucking way she goes.
This is how the list works. So
I had Gomez at my number 10.
Yeah.
So we could easily take Gomez and put him down on the list.
Well, yeah, let's make sure that we sort of open it for debate. He has to be in the top 10. I don't think there's any question there.
Is he top 5 though? Is Gomez top 5?
Oh, I don't know, man.
So I love Burt Reynolds and Tom Selleck. Gomez has been here longer. They're gonna die. The character Gomez ain't going nowhere. They're
still making Addams Family stuff. Like there's a new one right now, like a Wednesday one, right? So
yeah, like that's my argument is he's not going nowhere.
Yeah.
But Gomez's mustache has changed. It's different styles depending on the actor.
It is,
Gomez
yeah. It does change every so often. Like the most iconic one is like the pencil mustache. But like
for sure. Like definitely Sean Astin's dad. Who's the original actor on the TV show?
John Astin.
John Astin. John Astin and Raul Julia, obviously those were the two most sort of iconic, impactful interpretations, no question there. But oh man.
I'd be fine moving Gomez down to like fit in with it's weird. We have a little real people list, and then we got made up character lists. So I'd be fine moving Gomez down to fit
towards
in
the
with
made up character. So
the made up character list.
I would have no problem having Gomez around number 6 or 7, but bump Sam Elliott up to 9 and have Julius Pringles as number 10.
Yeah, so literally make like the cut of here's real people and then here's like characters. I'm fine with that. That's pretty diplomatic.
Okay, so we're saying 6.
Yeah.
For Gomez.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
Okay.
And then swap Julius Pringles and Sam Elliott.
You'll put Elliott over Pringles?
Yep.
I don't know that I would.
I actually also would argue. I would also argue that
I think if you
Pringles
held up a
guy-
picture of Sam Elliott to every person on the planet, and then held a picture of Julius Pringles up to every person on the planet, more people would know who Pringles is than Sam Elliott. I would argue. As far as a global brand goes, I think you'd have to go to the remotest part of the Amazon basin to find somebody that didn't know what a can of Pringles looks like. I don't think you'd have to go that far outside of Western society to find someone that didn't know who Sam Elliott was.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd keep Sam Elliott where he is.
Okay.
In fact, if anything, I'd be tempted to swap Sam and Ron, and I can't in good conscience because I'm only doing that because I want Ron.
You want
The
Ron?
only reason I would be doing it is because of that. But
Selfish.
it is selfish
No, I'm just
reasons.
kidding.
There's no question there. But I think, oh boys, I think that's pretty good. I mean,
It looks good.
I love the two left field ones that ended up making that top 10, man. That Yosemite Sam and the Julius Pringles. That's baller. That's fantastic. And I'd like to point out the Julius Pringles one wasn't even any of us. That came from the chat. Bravo, chat. Bravo.
Yeah,
That's very, very well done. Round of applause for the chat there. That is impressive work. Because I would not have yeah.
No,
Victoria Brown saying Tom Selleck, greater than all. I mean, I agree. He was my number one without any question. Like there wasn't even a close number two, but I'm not gonna. The peoples have spoken. I am nothing but diplomatic. So here we are. Is everybody comfortable with the list as it stands now? So I will recap it. Actually, you know what? Let's Ed. Why don't you go ahead and recap the top 10 only?
All right.
For our listeners and our viewers on Instagram.
All right. So top 10. Number 1 is Hulk Hogan. Number 2, Freddie Mercury. Number 3, Burt Reynolds. Number 4, Tom Selleck. Number 5, Yosemite Sam. Number 6, Gomez Adams. Number 7, Ned Flanders. Number 8, Super Mario. Number 9, the man on the can, Julius Pringles. And number 10, Sam Elliott.
I mean, that's Victorious Brown saying you're a little bit late, but do it in the Hulk Hogan's voice. Please don't.
Save us from that.
Please no.
Brother.
Myers Corp was the one that, Mike, I believe you were the one that suggested Pringles. Well done, Mike. Well done. By the way, guys, Mike was on the podcast last week. So head on over to YouTube and look up the podcast from last week or listen to it on your favorite device as far as wherever you get your podcast, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, whichever one you listen to. Listen to the last week's episode Mike Myers was on, and we had a great conversation with him. But yeah, guys, I mean, this feels pretty solid. I don't know about you guys. Is there anything we want to change before we cast this in cement? Any other? I know I saw Inspector Clouseau, fantastic choice. I would still put him in an honorable mention. Very specific time and place for Clouseau.
Yeah, no, Clouseau. I love Clouseau, but that's definitely a different generation.
It's a moment in time. It's a moment in time.
Yeah.
There's no question.
And I had a few others that were like real oddballs that not many people would know. They easily tossed into the honorable mentions, like Ravishing Rick Rude was another wrestler. Yeah. So, but Hulkster, no question. That was I was like, I'll keep that in the back pocket. There's not a pocket here. But yeah, I knew it wasn't gonna get thrown on the list. But that was one that was waiting.
Scroll up. No, I have seen Hal Linden's a great choice. The Monopoly guy is a great choice. I saw some Inigo Montoya, but there. Sorry guys, I haven't read out everything that's been in the comments. A bunch of great choices, but I don't feel that any of those, all of those seem like honorable mentions to me. I don't feel like any of them would crack the top 10. So I'm 13 and I know Inspector Clouseau. Yeah, no. Granted, I just think there's probably the majority of 13-year-olds don't know who that is. So yeah.
Fair. Until they remake it, they'll remake it in 5 years.
Yeah.
I'll put money down on it right now. We're getting an Inspector Gadget remake, 5 years. Quote it. Timestamp this.
Stamped it, double locked it. No erasers.
Yeah.
I am scrolling back, Michael. I'm not seeing anything that I haven't mentioned. So if you've got someone that you think should be cracking this top 10,
Michael kept saying about Samuel Clemens in Next Generation.
Again, pretty iconic, pretty great. I don't think it cracks the top 10. Captain Lou Albano. Yeah, we could definitely go down the whole wrestling list, but they're all going to pale next to Hogan, right? Like there's no.
Yeah, I
There's
got a tag
nobody.
team in there that I was going to mention called Mustache Mountain, but I'm like, no, it's still
No,
not going to
for
be the
sure.
Hulkster.
Now, see, that's an interesting choice. That's not Borat is a very interesting choice.
Yeah.
I still don't
think
know
it's quite
Yeah.
top 10, but it was pretty damn close. Oh,
I
didn't say it
just
was
love
top
that
10. Oh, okay.
there's
Sorry,
so
Michael. I
many
didn't see
good
anybody. Yeah.
mustaches.
No, there's a million of them. I had other people on my list that I didn't go into. So yeah, 100%. But
It's a
at the end of the
great time for
day,
mustaches.
it is a really good time for mustache. Didn't you know who it was until you just said Inspector Gadget? The name was a blank. Yeah. Clouseau is very much. Yeah, I feel like Clouseau is fairly niche, but and yeah, more a moment in time. But I think we're good, guys. I think we're good.
Feels good.
Yeah, it does feel good. So I'm going to go ahead and send this off to producer Jen so that she can publish it, and everybody can be super mad at us for our top 10 mustaches across all time and space. You guys in the chat, fantastic job of keeping up with us. I tried to keep up with the chat as best I could. So if I did miss any of your suggestions, I do apologize. I tried to get to all of them, or as many of them as I could. Yeah, I think we're going to start wrapping it up. We've been on for over an hour now. Mom says your list sucks. Well, again, same. That's how we roll here on the Geek Boutique podcast. No one ever loves our top 10 lists, so there's always some naysayers on there. And that's what we're looking to do. We're just looking to stir the pot. I don't think anything's going to top our first one with our top 10 villains, but I'm glad this one pissed you off. That's what we're here for.
You can hate it all you want. The good thing is it's free.
That's right. You're not paying for this. This is all just pure.
This is just quality content, just
pure
from
entertainment.
the kindness of our heart. Just
That's
the kindness
right.
of our
Yes.
heart.
We took time out of our evening to do this list for you.
Yeah.
All we're looking for is a little appreciation. Guys, yeah, we'll start to wrap this up. Thank you once again for joining us, everybody on Instagram, and especially those of you on YouTube and or on Facebook. It looks like most of you are on YouTube if you're watching over there. Once again, just a quick reminder, we are going to be moving off of the Instagram platform. We're going to be moving almost exclusively over to, as far as a live stream goes, over to YouTube. So if you're not already subscribed to the Geeks & Co. channel on YouTube, please do so. Throw us a like on that video. We can get that algorithm going, and we can get more eyeballs on the podcast and continue to grow through the grassroots that we've been doing so far. Yeah, my mom says your villains suck too. Yeah, it's cool, man. All of our lists suck, but we love them, and that's why we're here. And again, thanks to both Corey and Ed for coming on today, especially at the top of the broadcast when we were talking about men's health, both physical men's health and men's mental health. If you did join us late, I encourage you to go back and watch the beginning of the podcast. It's a little deep, it's a little heavy, but it's important. We were talking about issues that are facing men every single day, not just through November. As far as their physical health, as far as their mental health goes, it's important to bring awareness and keep talking about it. Guys, again, thank you so much. Ed, is there anything going on in your life? Anything you want to pitch? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, if you want to find me in other places, you can swing over to the True North Nerds Network on wherever you get your podcast. I have my own podcast over there called Tales from Collectiverse, where basically I talk about all the shit behind me that I collect. And also, and then you can basically find me on all other social media under Snowhawk Cosplay.
Awesome. Corey?
Hey, yeah, you can find me at Corey J. Carter. I'm just getting into cosplay, so that's a new thing for me. It's exciting. My first one was a little bit of Ravager Thor. I'm excited for next year to try to get into it a little more in depth. But otherwise, being vulnerable is cool. Being honest about your emotions and how you're feeling is sexy. And take care of yourselves and be good to those around you. And
once again, too, as Victoria has just said, another big shout out to Corey. 10 years ago, diagnosis, 5 years cancer free. We're lucky to have him with us still. So, and we still have him because he took care of it. He went and got looked at. He went and got checked out, and he addressed the problem. So that's what we're asking guys to do. Take ownership. Take that accountability. Go get checked out, guys. It's okay to not be okay, because that's how we fix it, right? Guys, thanks again for joining us. We will be back next Thursday. JS will be joining me again. I do not know the schedule. They sent it to me, and I still haven't opened it yet. I know we have someone booked. I don't know who it is, so I apologize for that. So you could be just like me. Join us next Thursday and be surprised, like I'm going to be, as far as what we're going to be doing. But huge thanks again to Corey and Ed for jumping on this one with me and doing our top 10 mustaches of all time. Guys, live long, prosper, wax those stashes, boys. Wax those stashes.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamins.